What's up, good everybody? Rainbow Friend here back at you with another reaction video today. I know it's been a while since I did videos. I've been having computer issues. I probably still will. Uh, but today we're gonna react to something I keep seeing on TikTok all the time. Let me point the right direction. Be seeing this on TikTok all the time, so I decided I'm just gonna react to the whole video, which is an hour. And y'all know me. This will probably be like a 5-hour video because I like to pause. So let's see what happens.
Americans pay more for everything that comes from Canada because they showed a commercial you didn't like? That sounds like being a snowflake, if you ask me.
They're posting, bro. I don't know if you're acting stupid or you're purposely just like misconstruing what I'm saying.
It did happen. Yeah, we had funding for things that are outside of the country, for transgender balls, transgender plays, transgender balls. Yes, they exist.
Of those people that are sitting in ICE detention facilities right now, how many do you think have been convicted of a violent crime?
Well, 100% because they're all illegal. And
I said convicted of a violent crime.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Hi, I'm Isaiah Martin. I'm a former candidate for the United States Congress, and I'm here today surrounded by 20 Maga Republicans. My first surrounding claim is that Trump's mass deportation plan is making us less safe.
Uh-oh. Already starting off strong here. Bro, it's so funny always seeing, like, whether you consider them hot takes or not, right? It's so funny, like, seeing people, like, lean forward to get ready to be like, oh, I'm ready to get this nigga. Right? Just every time. Even if it's points you disagree with, right? Just seeing how ready motherfuckers are. And also, wait a minute. Go back real quick. Hold on. See, he took a sprint, right? This man leisurely coming up. Motherfucker, you were way closer than he was.
Hey, how's it going, brother?
Coward.
Good to see you.
Great to meet you. It's interesting that you claim that because according to the DHS, 70% of the people who have been deported so far have been criminals, either caught in the act. Yes. I'm surprised you're surprised.
Bro.
Have been criminals, either caught in the act.
My face, exactly.
Yes.
Holy.
I'm surprised you're surprised. You ran for Congress and you don't know this?
This claim fails to distinguish between convicted criminals and those accused of breaking the law. Using U.S. Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement data, the CATO Institute found that December 2025 that 47% of ICE bookings had not been charged with a crime. Off to a rollicking good start.
That's what those numbers said?
That is 70%. The other 30% are people who went through the entire immigration process and had some sort of deportation detainer. So that is 700,000 people were deported like that. 1.9 million people self-deported.
As of January 20th, DHS says the Trump administration has deported 675,000 people in the past year, while estimated 2.2 million have been self-deported. How do you self-deport yourself? Do you just go up there and say, like, hey, bring me back, bro? Just bring me back. Is that how that works? I don't understand.
So far. That's all DHS data. It's publicly available. You can look it up. So I'm just, how are you standing for criminals? Is that what you're doing right now?
It's so crazy. It's like, oh, it's public data. You can look it up. So if I look it up and you're wrong, are you going to say it's wrong? This is what I don't understand about, like, Maga, right? Even when they tell you, hey, here's this source, look at the source, and then the source tells them different or explains further instead of, like, there's this blanket statement, they always go, well, see, that number's wrong because of this, that, and there's, like, you pointed me to the direction and you're still wrong.
Here, removal. 70% of the people deported literally have not been convicted criminals. What are you talking about? That's according to DHS.
That's according to DHS? Where are you getting your data from?
DHS.
What day? This is like just recently.
From up to October or mid-October of this year.
So we're going to need a fact check on this because I literally checked yesterday.
They're not convicted criminals. 70% of the people deported are not convicted criminals under interior.
They were people. So they were people that had either been convicted criminals.
No.
Or they had. We're like at a stalemate because now you're claiming something and I'm claiming something from the same source. So
70% of the people that have been deported under interior removals are not convicted criminals, and that is a fact.
That's not a fact.
It literally is.
It's 70%. I'm telling you, I looked it up.
I think you got it upside down.
at the end of the day, it is what's happening. They literally publish the photos of everybody who is being deported.
So I didn't realize that they posted every single photo on Twitter.
No, they publish the majority of them, yeah. But there's data.
Really?
This is, yeah. I mean, you're hitting back at me.
You're
with
saying they
data
deported hundreds of thousands of people and they post pictures of every single.
They're not posting. See, this is what you're doing here is you're building like this false deflection around it. I didn't say everybody.
This guy was the most I saw through this debate through TikTok clips. This guy right here, like, what an actual cornball! It is crazy. Like, he used to be a YouTuber. That's the crazy part. He used to be a YouTuber, a failed one apparently at that. From what I heard.
I said they're posting photos of people who are being deported. Yes.
So that means that they're deporting.
They're posting, bro. I don't know if you're acting stupid or you're purposely just like misconstruing what I'm saying. Yeah.
But here's my argument. Under Barack Obama, of those that were deported under interior removals, 92% of them were convicted criminals.
God damn it. This thing's going to come up a lot, isn't it? President Obama didn't institute a policy shift on immigration enforcement that prioritized immigrants based on criminality until November 2014, nearly 6 years into his presidency. According to the Migration Policy Institute, 85% of interior deportees had criminal convictions in that fiscal year. Interior deportees. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. Someone in the comments, what's interior deportees?
92%, 81% of them were considered tier 1, worst of the worst per se. I think that is something that makes us a lot more safe than literally roaming around to go get grandmas at CVS that speak Spanish or going to that construction.
Goddamn, I try to speedrun that shit of non-border deportees at prior criminal convictions.
They're literally roaming around to go get grandmas in CVS that speak Spanish or going.
The Migration Policy Institute says during Obama's first year in office, 51% of interior removals were individuals convicted of what DHS describes as serious crimes. The policy change greatly reduced the total number of interior deportations from 224,000 2011 to 64,000 2016.
Went to that construction.
That's an absolute
on a job site.
That's an absolutely false narrative because that's actually
that's just what the facts say. I mean,
that's
the
not
facts
what's
just
happening.
don't really care about
You just
reality.
see this is.
Well, several news outlets report grandmothers being detained by ICE, as well as instances of immigrants being detained near CVS stores. There's no documented instance of the two converging. ICE raids at construction sites have been well documented. Okay.
This is common with what the left does. You guys just
The left loves facts.
No,
That's kind of how that goes.
Again. That's not what you guys do at all. What for anybody watching at home? This is what they do. They get a piece of data, they fabricate a narrative around it, and then they try to sell it to you as the truth when in fact it's not.
Your data.
So yeah, let's clap it.
I mean,
let's clap it up. Let's support him. Yeah. All right, guys.
I came here. This is Trump's own website.
I came here with a piece of data. You completely rewrote it in real time.
No, I gave you the facts.
You completely rewrote it. I mean, I'm surprised you ran for Congress. You're one of the most disingenuous, dishonest people that I've ever met in my entire life. I was literally taken aback for a second. I was like, how? Like, I looked this up yesterday. How is this guy sitting here lying so blatantly? You should be ashamed. No, seriously, dude. And I can see it in your face. No, you literally just sat here and lied. And you're like breaking down in real time.
I think I'm doing pretty good.
It's so incredibly So tell me, why are you so in favor of criminals being in this country?
I just told you that 70% of the people that Trump is supporting literally are not convicted criminals for interior removals. I mean, I don't understand what about this.
You really buy into that narrative that little grandmas are walking around. Oh my God! Oh, let's get grandma. Let's kick her out of the country.
That's literally what they're doing.
That's not what they're doing. Cite one case.
If there's videos of this type of shit happening. I mean, the fact checker even said, like, it's not well documented, but if there's videos like this happening, like, that's not AI, then, like, what are you going to say? Facts over feelings, guys. Remember, this is the same party that's always said facts over feelings, and all of a sudden y'all get in your feelings when the facts don't align with your narrative. Shout outs, though.
It's like that.
Of what? Of
one case of the little grandma standing at the taco stand getting deported. You can't cite it. There we go. There we go.
So loud equals I'm right. Got you, bro.
Are you denying the fact that
no? I'm holding you to account because that's the narrative you're just running with, and then you can't cite a specific example.
What I'm telling you.
Again, this man is deeply disingenuous. Thank God you're out of politics. We don't need more lying politicians like you.
What we don't need.
We don't need more lying politicians like you. I'm running for Congress too. I'm actually still in the race. Yes, okay. In Hollywood, Glendale, Burbank, and Pasadena. We need people.
Well, like, here's the thing, right? And this isn't even just a Republican thing. Democrats do this shit too. So I'm not. But let's be honest. Right now, it's very much like a Republican thing to like just start screaming and shit, right? Like, keep on. This man has yet to actually like even raise his voice yet, and this man's like, and it's like, bro, like, hey, yo, like and if when you notice the meter for those watching, obviously, if you notice the meter on the bottom left. The moment he started, like, essentially trying to get into screaming match, that's when the flag started going up, right? Because, like, before, like, only, like, a couple of people had it up and it was whatever. Right now, with how he's screaming, bro, literally just everyone's starting to raise it up like crazy right now.
Tell the truth. We don't need liars like you.
When this episode comes out and they show the fact check and you are miserably wrong, as you clearly
I'm not going to be wrong.
And they show, this is going to be really beautiful when America gets to watch the fact that the person running to be your next congressman literally cannot read data.
This guy's breaking down in real time. He's like looking at the clock. Please get me out of here.
I think I'm doing pretty good.
You looked at the clock, dude. You're breaking down in real time. I can see your face is like twitching.
I think I'm just chilling.
You don't seem like it.
Because here's the reality, is that under Barack Obama, we know that we focus more on the convicted criminals, and you guys just aren't. I'm sorry that the numbers don't back up what you're talking about, but that's just the reality.
They literally do.
This is just going to be just so beautiful because when they show this fact check, we're just going to, I guess, one of us is going to go viral over this, I guess.
Pause.
How can a guy be so confident in something and be so wrong?
I think we paused.
Pause.
Okay, well.
Let me scream at you. Hey, yo, shake my hand, bro.
It's gonna be a great fact check, I will say.
Hey, it's great to meet you.
Good to see you, brother.
I'm going to start saying something that might not make everyone else like me, but I actually think you've been real honest during this conversation. And
then everyone like throw their hands up and shit like, oh, you're not completely on our side. You're not really MAGA.
So, but I want to start with, I don't know if it's 30 or if it's 70% as y'all were debating, but even if it's 30%, shouldn't all of those 30% be deported?
Here's the problem, is that ICE has a certain amount of resources. Mm-hmm. Just like, for example, police officers. We have a lot of our officers focusing on violent crime. So when it comes to the limited resources that ICE has, I would say that it would make more sense to go after the worst of the worst.
Yes.
Violent terrorists that are in this country. Mm-hmm. We focus more on those folks under Barack Obama's administration, and I think that it makes more sense to go after those folks now. Because currently what we're seeing is an ICE that's literally going to go get folks blanket across the country. It's leading to so many mistakes, like, for example, the grad student, the student that was a college student in Georgia that was literally detained in an ICE detention facility for 2 weeks, literally as a result of a mistaken identity. I don't think that that's something that keeps us more safe in this country.
Mm-hmm. So can we start with points of agreement? I think that might be useful. Can we, regardless of how we get there, can we agree that those 30% who got deported should have been deported?
The convicted criminals?
The convicted criminals.
Yes.
Which you said is 30.
Yes.
Someone said it was 70, whatever.
Yes.
So we start there. Okay.
Yes.
So now we have to talk about the remaining, I'm going to say 70%.
Yes.
Because I believe your stat. To me, it seems that those people are also making our civilization unsafe because they promote a culture of lawlessness. When you
So, I'm glad this man is more reasonable. Don't get me wrong and shit. I'm really glad. But then saying like they promote a culture of lawlessness, bro, this country was started off by lawlessness because we were tired of the fucking British. So like, it was okay when we did it, but not okay when y'all do it? Huh?
have a set of person, a category of person who is by definition an outlaw, they themselves have to be afraid of the police for normal things. And they encourage their friends then to be afraid of the police for normal things.
But why do we have to be afraid of the police? the police. We shouldn't be afraid of the police. If anything, you should be afraid of breaking the law for the consequences, but you shouldn't be afraid of the people enforcing it, because the people enforcing it have fucking training to just not go fucking buck wild. So we shouldn't fear the police. Respect them, sure. Respect what they have to do and like respect the law, but to fear them? No, bro, come on.
So you create a culture where people are afraid of the police because of things that have nothing to do with them. And so when these people are around, they actually make it such that the people near them can't be pro-police. And so if you deport the people who aren't criminals themselves, but who exist as a category of outlaw, and you remove this outlaw category, you no longer have this semi-enforced law situation, and then we can move to a place where we have fully enforced law. And so I think that we both agree that less crime is good, like obviously, and I think that when the best way to get rid of crime is to police crime. When you punish criminals, they stop doing crime. But you need people to believe in the police. You need people to love the police. You need people to want to be safe.
Do undocumented immigrants commit less crime than American citizens?
I think it's probably true. But the problem is that if they get caught up in,
so they commit.
I think it's probably true. But the problem
This man's like, no, they don't. That is absurd. Blasphemous. How dare you?
is that if they get caught up in...
So if they commit less crime, how does that fill the narrative that you're referring to?
For example, imagine I'm an illegal immigrant. I'm not. But imagine that I was. And some crime happened to me.
See, the gears were turning in his head like, maybe I'm a little bit wrong. And then he's like, nah, let me keep going.
I am less likely to call the police because I'm afraid that I could get deported. And same thing if I'm in a group of people and one of us is an illegal immigrant and a crime happens, we are now afraid to call the police because of what might happen to our friend. And so this category of outlaw creates a culture of not believing in police.
Let's see if we can agree on this. Okay. I support making sure that we can have a strong border in our country.
Yes,
I
sir.
think that that's fair.
Thank you.
Okay. I do not support violent criminals in our country.
Yes, sir.
I don't think the vast majority of Americans do. I also support making sure that there's a pathway to citizenship for those that are here that are undocumented. So the question then comes, what do we do with the limited resources that ICE has in front of us? I personally believe that we should be more focused on convicted criminals,
yes,
violent people that are in our country. But when we have a system in which 70% of the people that are literally detained by ICE itself are those that have not been convicted of a crime, 47% of those people have not even been charged with a crime. They're just people they
53% have been charged with a crime then?
What?
That man is salty as fuck too. He's always like, this fucking black man. Like, oh, you fucking see the hate. It's so crazy. Like, look, if I was undocumented, right? If I needed police, I'm gonna call the police. I don't need the police when the police are there because, like, let's say if somebody in my neighborhood causing a ruckus, I'm like, let me get the police on here so I don't deal with that. If I call the police, and I'm the type of guy, like, if I called you, I'm gonna wait outside because I'm not gonna just like wait at the door, like, just be inside. I mean, they're obviously gonna need to talk to somebody or they leave, right? But I'm gonna like be right there. I'm gonna be the first person you see. So if I'm the first person you see, why the fuck would the cops' first thought be, is this man undocumented? No, his first thought should be, why the fuck y'all call us? We heard a disturbance. What's happening? That should be the first thing. But there should never be like a thought. Like, I don't know if it's part of protocol. It probably isn't. But a lot of times, like, unless the police really need it, they don't even ask for your license or anything. Like, proof of ID. They just say, hey, what's your name, bro? Like, you gave the number anyway, so it's like, at some point, your name's gonna pop up, even if you're trying to like be fake about your name. So like, they wouldn't ask for your license. They're just like, a crime was being reported. Let's do what we need to do. So like, their first thought shouldn't be, oh man, this guy looks Mexican. I wonder if he's documented or not.
So 53% have been charged with a crime then?
No, it's not what I said.
You just said 47% haven't been charged.
47%.
So what percent have been?
Yeah, 53%
so
have been.
So over
charged.
half are charged with a crime.
Yeah, if you look at what the 47% number before Trump got in office, it was around 10%-ish.
Okay.
Right? So what I'm saying is that we should be more focused on rounding up convicted criminals in this country, people that are going to be doing things as it is.
So would you agree on giving more money to ICE to go get all the convicted criminals?
But that's not really what's happening, right? We're already paying ICE. We're literally spending more money on ICE this year than the Spanish military is on their entire thing, and we're seeing the results.
Well, because that's Spain.
But I'm just saying. Well,
I don't want to talk about the Spanish.
But come on.
Even if it's like, oh well, Spain, like they're not gonna have as much money as the U.S. We're still spending fact check me on this one. I'm probably not gonna edit it in. Fact check me on this one. Aren't they spending millions, if not near $1 billion on fucking ICE? My thing is, where the fuck did ICE suddenly just? Obviously, they got it from the president, but where is all this fucking money coming from? Because from what I know, until recent history, ICE hasn't really been an active part in terms of policing shit. It's always the military and the police. But until recently, you haven't heard of also ICE. So this sudden surge in money, and some of them still use iPhones for the cameras. Yeah, I'm looking at you, motherfucker, who popped Renee good. I'm looking at you.
That's an entire military.
It's not 1453.
I mean, but that's an entire military, right? What I'm saying is,
I'm sure it's more than
what I'm saying is that it doesn't make sense to me that we're spending all this money and 70% of the people that we're deporting, right? So at the end result, right? Not just the folks that are detained, the end result of the folks that we're saying, okay, we're going to get you out of here.
Yeah.
70% of them have not been convicted.
So can we address the fact
think that's an issue.
that having a category of person who is an outlaw, who cannot rely on the police, makes the entire neighborhood unsafe?
But if they can't, but here's the thing. Why put it on the person who fears the police that they're outlaw? Right? If they fear the police, then they're outlaw? No, maybe they fear the police because of instances they've had, right? Whether it's taken out of context or not, instances that they had or have heard of just brutal stories just from simple checkups. There are people who got popped by the police for no reason, and the only thing the cop pulled them over for was a traffic stop. It's those types of things. I'd be scared of the police too, right? If I kept hearing that over and over again and shit, I'd be scared of the police too. This is why police are trained for a long time, grueling amount of time, right? To make sure, hey guys, and obviously their training isn't that great in retrospect, but this is why they train so that they can be mentally prepared and have the mental fortitude to not just be ready to put their hand on their waist. So if there were less cops that were trigger happy and shit, I'm sure that even if those stories were still a thing, people wouldn't be as fearful because, everyone's always going to think of the worst case scenario when they call someone of authority, and what's the worst thing that could happen? You get popped. And add to the fact that you're undocumented. Hello? What are we talking about here?
Because what's happening in this country is that those people that are undocumented are those that commit crimes at a lower rate. Here's the real thing.
Yeah,
Because here's what
really missed what I'm talking about.
Because here's what makes us less safe. What makes us less safe in this country is going and having someone to do these complete raids, and you go find these mistaken cases of identity in which American citizens have been detained.
Tragedies, everyone.
Every single one of them.
Every single
and those are at an increase.
All 10 of them.
That makes us far more unsafe than what the thing that you're talking about.
All
in these
policing
policies
is always going to have mistakes, but if you want to claim that just
those
because
situations have increased.
Well, because policing has increased.
So what's happening in this country is that what you're focusing on rounding up people that have not been convicted of a crime,
who are a category of out.
So police presence have increased. Let's just say they have. I'm just saying because you say there's more cases because there's more policing. Shouldn't it be that there's more policing, but less of these things happening? Obviously, if number go up, another number is bound to go up. But we're trying to keep it the same or lower it. Well, obviously lower it. We're trying to keep it to where the disparity is this and not this. What is this? Why is it more policing? We got more policing. Now we have more issues when it should be this to this. I don't know if like.
And as a result
Can you
of that,
address the fact that those people make neighborhoods more unsafe?
No, I'm not going to say that at all.
All policing is always going to have some accidents, and they're all terrible, and they should all not happen. But if you're going to have a system, you're going to mistake sometimes, and they're all bad, and I'm opposed to all of them. But
here's the thing. There's mistakes for mistaken identity. There's mistakes for that and shit. But this is why police, like, even if they don't investigate like that, because I know there's some things police can't do. Trust me, I've been around police enough and called them enough to know. But there's literally, like, they could literally investigate on the scene, at least of something. So a lot of things, a lot of times, can't be figured out without, like, sending someone to jail for 2 weeks and then being like, oh, bro, my mistake, bro. I didn't realize you were not the person we're looking for. You just happen to look like him, so we just assumed. Even though, like, you know, we didn't, like, do our due diligence and figuring out on if you were actually, like, you know, like, the person we're looking for. I'm sorry, 2 weeks of school you missed out? It's okay, bro. Hey, I did that when I was back in high school. What the fuck?
Talking about, first, we agreed on the 30%, which is a huge point of agreement that I think we need to elevate. And then on the 70%, these people cannot be regulated by the system in the correct way. They do not trust the system in the correct way. They definitionally, by the status of who they are, make the neighborhood less safe because it makes so everybody in the neighborhood can't rely on the police or their friend might get deported. So you have to remove these people in order to get rid of this semi-enforced, semi-category of law. You have to do that. Do you not believe that?
Are you saying that neighborhoods that have high percentages of undocumented people are oftentimes some of the most violent neighborhoods in cities? Is that what you're saying?
That might be the case. I'm not sure. It probably would be the
That's
case,
true
but that's not what I'm trying to
Sorry,
say.
say that one more time.
Undocumented people are.
Do you not believe that?
Are you saying that neighborhoods that have high percentages of undocumented people are oftentimes some of the most violent neighborhoods in cities? Is that what you're saying?
That might be the case. I'm not
undocumented people.
The fact that this nigga back here nodded his head to that stupid shit.
Probably would be the case, but that's not what I'm trying to say.
If you look at cities that have higher.
See, there's more undocumented people over here. That must mean they're criminals. Like, you know, there's more white people over here. So they all must be PDFs. There just happen to be more white people over there. That's how that fucking sounds.
Percentages of undocumented populations, those cities oftentimes have lower crime rates.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the case or which way that would go. But I'm telling you, you have to address this category of outlaw. I don't know why we're going in circles here. Do you not believe that?
Because I don't think that the argument that you're making really has anything to do with the root of the issue.
The root of the issue.
The root of the
Safety
issue.
of America.
The root of the issue is about safety.
Yes.
And if we have the fact that our ICE, as it stands today, is more focused on rounding up people that have not been even accused of a crime, instead of violent terrorists that are in this country, violent people in America, I think that itself makes us less safe. Because here's who's celebrating. The people in this country that are doing wrong, because they know that people are more focusing on going to a Fiesta or a grocery store or a Home Depot or a place of work or a plant or somewhere else to round up people.
You think criminals are celebrating this?
I would say so, because they're literally being rounded up at a lower rate.
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority.
It's great to talk with you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
So far, he is like, even though he's like in the wrong direction, he's at least like tolerable to actually fucking talk to. Even though he said some wild fucking shit.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
Can y'all like get up and run faster than that, dude? Like, do you want to be up there or not? Because y'all are just like, and like y'all have the dude. Hold on. Y'all have the fucking advantage. All the people. Sorry, wait. Yeah. Damn, I'm like doing this like I'm fucking follow my finger. Like, holy shit. All these people over here on this side. Y'all have the advantage over the chick right there. And y'all are just like, oh, come on.
Hi,
how are you?
One of the issues that Trump mainly won on was immigration from both sides. And I find disingenuous the selective outrage to what makes it safe.
What do you mean by that?
Well, we have tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of children missing and not accounted for since the open borders. We have $150 billion.
Oh, fact check came back. The U.S. Department of Government Efficiency, Jesus, cited Federation for America Immigration Reform data showed a net cost of $150.7 billion being paid for undocumented immigrants in the country. Wait, I don't know what that fact means. Hold on. Is it saying like we spent that much money on undocumented immigrants to send them back to their country, or just for people who are undocumented, we don't know who? Like,
we have $150 billion spent from American taxpayer dollars to house and educate and give welfare.
Fair came to the figure by subtracting the tax revenue paid by undocumented immigrants, just under $32 billion, from gross negative economic impact of illegal immigration, $182 billion. So, we're spending money on illegal immigrants, cool, and they're giving the money back. Maybe like the margin is huge, right? But they're giving the money back though, because you can't give them like Social Security and shit. So they really are paying taxes. They're just not paying taxes the way you want them to pay taxes.
To illegal aliens. This takes away.
Give me an example of that.
Well, I mean, just look at.
The estimation has been criticized in the past, with CATO Institute saying it overstates the cost of illegal immigration, undercounts the tax revenue immigrants generate, inflates the number of illegal immigrants, counts millions of U.S. citizens as illegal. Wait, if it counts U.S. citizens as illegal immigrants just to get the number higher? Yikes, bro.
In New York, the $12 billion spent on housing immigrants in hotels. Just alone in California, $23 billion.
And concocts a method of estimating the fiscal cost that is rejected by all economics who work on the subject.
Was taken away from our educational system to support.
Annual spending for housing asylum seekers in New York City peaked at $3.75 billion in fiscal year 2024. The city expects spending to decrease to $1.3 billion in fiscal year 2026. So that's actually a lot less spending. But do they expect that because there's just less undocumented immigrants in New York City, or just because of like the lack of taxes, or the lack of like things that could be taxed, like Social Security given to immigrants? Like, I need that one to be expanded on.
Illegal immigrants. Is that safe for the hardworking American, for the veterans?
The Clinton University 2014 estimate from the Foundation of American Immigration Reform that cited providing education, healthcare, law enforcement, social, and government services to immigrants illegally in the state and their dependents cost California's $25.3 billion per year. Okay, so here's the thing about that. Just because they're illegal, we can't give them services? Like, we shouldn't give them services because they're illegal? Like, I don't understand that.
To have to wait behind illegals who get fast-tracked in their health care, is that safe for them? Now, I probably find agreement with you that...
The estimate, however, includes funding from 1.1 million U.S.-born children, or more than 25% of the calculated population. Type shit.
Wait behind illegals who get fast-tracked in their health care, is that safe for them? Now, I probably find agreement with you that people who want to do it the right way...
Is it safe for them to get fast-tracked to get health care? What?
There should be less bureaucracy. There should be people who want to...
God damn it. There are roughly 2,400,000 undocumented children ages 3 to 17 in California, according to Ed Trust West. At 20.5 thousand per student, that's roughly $4.9 billion per year if all students are enrolled in school.
Contribute to the American dream, who are here in good faith, we want, my father's an immigrant, my grandparents are immigrants, but you have to do it the right way. And sometimes when you have such irresponsible management of the borders as we've...
I agree doing it in a responsible way, but if the responsible way has people waiting years and years on end, like either the system's got to change or something up with the process itself.
Seeing with open borders for the last few years,
So
there will be sometimes an overcorrection.
What is Donald Trump doing to make it easier to do things the right way?
Well, he's closed the borders. That's number one.
That's not what I asked you. I said, what is he doing to make it easier to come across the border the right way? That's not what I asked you.
This bitch over here talking about clock it. Closing the border makes it easier? What makes it easier to obtain the citizenship? By closing the border. Yeah, like that's basically saying like, hey yo bro, you know what would be easier to like get the citizenship? How's it easier? Or no, sorry, like going to the club. Hey, you know what's how you get there easier to going into the club? Oh dude, yeah, it's getting a real idea, I'm sorry. By aging up by 2 years. Bro, that doesn't solve the issue on the process itself. That's just saying that here's what you should. Here's the qualifications. Okay, but how do I make it easier to finish going through it? Oh, we just gotta close the border. That's how we make it easier for everybody. If anything, that just makes it worse.
I said, what is he doing to make it easier to come across the border the right way?
Well, he's making new policies
like
where,
what?
well, he has to ensure that they're actually asylum seeking.
No, it's not what I asked though. What is he doing to make it easier for because you just said that you support making it easier for legal immigration.
Yes.
Right? I think that we all probably should agree with that.
Yeah.
What is he doing to advance that goal?
Well, the first thing you do is you have to cut off the huge.
But what is he doing?
Open border policy where
that's not what I asked you.
Okay, well, again, and I think
hey, what is that orange nigga doing? What is him, your president, him, this guy? What is he doing to make it easier? Not what we should do, not what I think needs to happen. What has he done? And the answer is nothing.
You just tell me one thing, one possible
he shut the borders.
That's not what I asked you.
But that's a major thing. You have to start at the root cause and go from there. Well, I mean,
make it easier for people to legally come into this country.
Well, I know when he was in the first term, he had the Remain in Mexico policy. I'm not sure of the exact policies, but what he's doing.
Oh, we don't know the policies, but we're going to say that this is what needs to happen. Okay.
Is working. He has. Again, you're skirting away from the issue.
So nothing.
Americans put Trump in office because they
saw
if Kamala was still in office, we would have open borders and it would be even more unsafe.
If a central pillar to your argument is making it easier for legal immigration into this country, and you cannot tell me one specific example of anything he's doing for people to come across legally. How does any of that make any sense?
You're turning my words around. I do think it should be easier for the right people to come in legal ways.
So then what is he doing to advance that?
But again, in the meantime, we have a big problem of illegals, many of them criminals. When you talk about people who talk about unsafety, let's talk about Lincoln Riley, an American who was just jogging and living her life and was...
Bro. We can all have the opinion of what should be done, what could possibly be a solution or whatever. But if the man is asking you, what did he do? Right? Like, unless somehow you're Trump's advisor and you already know the game plan he's going to commence, what has he done in this present time? At the time of this recording, you and me, we're sitting across from each other right now. We don't even see what's happening on our phones. So maybe he already did something that we don't know yet. What has he done right now, at this current moment? Right now. That has been a policy that he put through that was like, oh shit, now it's way easier to be a citizen. What has he done? Well, no, what did he do?
Brutally murdered by an illegal alien.
Like, audience, if I asked you, hey, you should like my video. that's just me saying we should do it. But if I said, did you like my video? And I look and you didn't like my video, don't just go, well, see, I was going to. No, did you do it or not? You didn't? Okay, cool. Like, that's the fucking answer. It's like she's basically getting a yes or no fucking question and says, let me put an asterisk on my maybe answer. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Is that safe? Is that safe to let people who are gang members and nationalists and drug cartels into our country with the fentanyl crisis a real thing? Is that safe for our kids? So let's not skirt the issue.
What happened to Laken Riley, I think every American agrees was absolutely horrific. I think we can say, and it's just like, for example, when Molly Tibbetts was killed under the Trump administration by an undocumented person in this country. This happens across, and every time it happens, it is wrong, and I think we all should say that. Any person that commits a violent crime needs to be locked up, deported. We all agree with that. But here's the central problem, is that what you're focused on is rounding up people in this country that have not been convicted of a crime. That does not make us more safe. Because when you have...
That's a blanket statement.
That's just simply the facts.
Trump has run on criminals, violent criminals first.
Let me ask you a question. Of those people that are sitting in ICE detention facilities right now, how many do you think have been convicted of a violent crime? Just take a guess.
I trust the Trump administration.
Take a guess.
I don't know.
Just throw a number. Just take it. What do you think it could be?
Well, 100% because they're all illegal. And
I said convicted of a violent crime.
No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I said how many have been convicted of a violent crime?
It doesn't matter. Why have they not filed the papers? Why are they taking advantage of the systems? It doesn't matter. All of them.
What percentage of these, 100%, you think only,
because if they're there
only
illegally.
5% of the people in ICE detention facilities today.
Federal data of November 2025 shows 5% of ICE detainees have been convicted of a violent crime. 5.
Have been convicted of a violent crime.
Are they here undocumented?
5%.
Are they here undocumented?
5%.
Are they here undocumented? Wait. Are they here undocumented?
This just screams about what people are seeing in this country. You literally believe that 100% of the people in ICE detention facilities have been convicted of a violent crime.
Okay,
only
not
5%.
Violent. I said a crime is that they're undocumented.
Crime.
I don't know the statistic of violent crime, but
So if you didn't know, why are you trying to give an opinion on something he didn't even ask for yet? If he had asked you how many of them are undocumented and you say 100%, obviously you're still gonna be so fucking wrong. But at least the answer you gave is an answer to the question. He asked you violent crime and he said, oh, 100%, all of them are violent crimes. Because they're all undocumented. That's a violent crime. Yeah, being undocumented surely is a violent crime.
Then why they're there in the first place?
You just told me that number was 100%.
Okay, they're undocumented 100%. The priority we should all agree on should be violent crime first.
95% of the people in ICE detention facilities have not been convicted of a violent crime.
I don't think that's a true statistic.
That's a fact from DHS itself.
I don't.
Pause. You've been voted out by the majority.
Thank God, get her out of there, guys. Get her out. Nero. Oh my God, this guy.
Martin, nice to meet you.
I saw him on some TikTok clips, but this guy, especially because back there he was doing some shit back there.
See, it's my last name.
Oh, it's a great name. Awesome. So I guess on this illegal immigration point, you talked about affordability earlier, so I want to talk about that a little bit. Do you know how much the average American citizen contributes in taxes to subsidize illegal immigrants in this country?
How much?
That's $1,000 per U.S. taxpaying citizen.
2023 report on the federal fair estimated that illegal immigration costs the U.S. taxpayers a net average of $956 per person annually. As with previous citations of fair's estimation, this one falls under the same criticism. So wait a minute. So it costs us about $1,000 per person for immigrants, but obviously this one's been criticized because it's probably like either blatantly wrong or doesn't account for other shit. Even just the people in general, like I would say on average $1,000 is how much you would you get a paycheck, right? So just by that alone, like we're essentially like by this statistic. Let's just say that this is exactly what the statistic's saying, right? By this statistic, is basically saying like we're paying a paycheck annually for for illegal immigration, but that's annually, and we still make the money back in immigrants paying taxes. They just don't pay taxes the way you think they do, but they do pay taxes, right? So they're essentially paying us back at that point. So it's kind of a moot point.
Subsidizing illegal immigrants in our country. We also talked about affordability earlier.
You're talking about federal taxes, right?
Yes. Why are house prices so expensive right now?
Wait, that it inflates the figure by including the cost of American-born children of undocumented immigrants. Of course, they have to add as many numbers as possible. Well, technically, they're a illegal immigrant because that's their kids, but they were born in America. So, what you got to say about that, bitch ass Nick? All right. This man really asked, why is housing high? I don't know. It's probably because we're in a fucking housing bubble and we're just making everything expensive. Maybe that's why.
We haven't built in Texas, right?
Yes. Why are house prices so expensive right now?
We haven't built enough over the time.
Well, I mean, that's part of the reason, but I would say another part of the reason is because we've had...
Oh, well, see, that's part of the reason, but it's all about the illegals. National... Jesus Christ. NASEM, Economic and Fiscal Consequences of Immigration 2017 report found that while first-generation immigrants can create short-term fiscal costs like
10
education
million
costs,
people enter our country in the last 4 years who aren't supposed to be in our country. And guess what? When you kick out...
Fuck them out of here. The long-term fiscal impact is positive, with second-generation immigrants becoming strong contributors, often paying more in taxes than natives. But they wouldn't want to hear that. FAIR's authors also state that the figure isn't exact, since there's no way to know how many people are in the country illegally. Wait, so we don't know how many people are in the country illegally, but we have all these stats that says, yeah, all these guys are undocumented. Got you.
Oh, according to the admin, 2 million people over this first year. We've had housing prices fall this quarter. Why do you think housing prices have fell this quarter?
Over the last few years, right? Let's just say over the last 4 years. When do you think the majority of housing inflation happened? When years?
Tell me.
2021, 2022, as a result of that?
Probably.
We know that, but we know our highest years for immigration into this country were after that.
Well,
so the results is that we saw in the time period in which we had the most illegal immigration coming into this country, that was not coincided with the increase in housing prices.
Well, Sue, can you explain to me why housing prices have fell this quarter? What policy change has been brought about besides kicking out millions of people?
Because here's the root of the issue, is that when you look at, for example, what immigration as a whole, whether it's illegal immigration, whether it's legal immigration, we know that accounts for maybe 1%, maybe 2% of total housing inflation. The rest of it is the fact that we literally have not built up to the demand that we literally have in the country.
I agree on that.
That's the overarching point.
I mean, 100% we should be building more housing.
So that's the reason why housing has gone up for a long time, no matter what it is. No matter, the facts are, in this country, we have not built enough housing.
Sure, but removing...
Yeah, did we forget the time where the housing bubble exploded? And hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure we haven't fucking recovered from that yet. Or at least if we have recovered, it took a good fucking long time, and all of a sudden, we've always had this problem with immigration, but now immigration is what's hurting housing prices when it's kind of always been that way anyway. Come on, son.
10 million people would also do a whole hell of a lot to decrease the supply of people that are competing for housing.
Well, but we also know that of the people that build those homes, 50% of those people are those that are immigrants into this country. If you go and you round up specific these people, you're also going to be able to build less houses.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Build those homes. 50% of those people are those that are immigrants into this country. American
workers can do those jobs. You're absolutely correct. Get to working. Matter of fact, I need a job right now. I'll get to work right now. Give me the tools. Because here's the thing, right? It's easier to pay people less when they're not documented which means that the company gets paid more. And if the company gets paid more, which is what a company always wants to do, they want to get paid more. Why would they hire people like you and me who are American and we have to get, equal pay? Why would they hire us? They want to make as much money as possible. Hell, if I was a company, I want to make as much money as possible. I'm going to hire every illegal immigrant I can find. Let's keep it real.
You go and you round up specific these people, you're also going to be able to build less housing as it currently stands.
Okay, so why have housing prices fell this quarter? The only policy change we've had that can relate to housing prices
not true.
is people getting kicked out of our country.
That's not true. For example,
what federal housing policy?
Kicking people out of the country is our new policy. What?
For example, in the city of Austin, they use federal funds, for example, to do something that they called it was a big housing initiative that they had. It led to rents declining for the first time in a long time, housing prices declining for the first time in a long time. Sure. That was because they put pro-housing policies.
Yeah, I agree. We need pro-housing.
It's the exact same thing in Minnesota. What's happening in America is that more cities are coming around to understand that the more housing that you build, the lower that leads for regular people. That's what's happening. Because if you look at, for example, the rate of increase, the way that it stabilized and the way that it starts to go down, it follows a trend of more cities adopting pro-housing policies to build housing all across America. And that's a fact.
No, I mean, sure, we need, like I said, I agree that we need to increase the supply of housing. But let's also go back to my point on
guys, just start raising your flags.
American citizens are subsidizing illegal immigrants. Do you think it's a good thing that the average American is subsidizing $1,000 a year out of their taxpayer money to fund illegal immigrants?
What I don't think is a good idea is the fact that we're paying way more for that, for billionaires to go sip on pina coladas on private jets.
80% of Americans had their taxes cut by one
That's what's happening in America right now.
Do you agree that, yes, 80% of Americans, essay and fact check, 80% of Americans.
Oh, he said fact check. He said hit me with it. The One Big Beautiful Bill Act of 2025 made existing tax cuts permanent for approximately 62% of American taxpayers. 91% of those taxpayers did see tax relief due to expanded standard deduction and expanded child tax credits, according to a congressional report. Hey, it wasn't 80; it's more like 62. But he's
had their tax cuts, had their taxes cut by the One Big Beautiful Bill for middle class Americans.
How so?
Yeah, so not 80, it's 62. He was confident in that one, though. I'll give him credit. He was confident, but you're still fucking wrong.
$80,000 to $100,000. I think it was around $1,000 to $2,000.
What happened to the tax rate?
It went down.
It did?
Yeah, for 80% of Americans.
People? The tax rate?
Yeah.
Tax rate didn't go down.
Yes, it did.
Tax rate didn't.
Essay and fact check right here. 80%.
The tax rate?
Yes, the effective tax rate for
the
Americans.
effective tax rate.
Yeah, the tax rate for Americans went down. I mean, do you disagree with that?
Well, because that's not what happened. What happened was maybe an increase for the standard deduction and some other things. But a lot of those policies, and I just want to make sure that it's very clear here. The policies for regular people and the tax cuts that were in the big, beautiful ripoff bill, per se, for those that make less than $200,000 a year, were supported by a lot of Democrats. Democrats supported these ideas. Nobody supported raising income taxes for folks that made less than $400,000 a year.
Kamala Harris
Nobody.
extended the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act.
Exactly. You know why? Because what we don't support is the fact that the richest corporations in America are getting away with paying little to nothing in taxes. What we know is that with the 21% corporate tax rate that we have, it's too low.
Okay, so perfect. I want to establish. You want to raise the corporate tax rate. You want to tax unrealized gains. You want to do all these things.
Did I say that?
I mean, I'm asking you because that's what Kamala Harris said.
I think that for those people that make more than $1 billion a year, they should pay a property tax style tax on their wealth. That is what.
Okay, well, you talk about corporate taxes because that's what Kamala Harris ran on. She ran on raising the corporate taxes and raising the effective gains tax. Can you at least acknowledge that is just economically suicidal for our country and would result in businesses slashing jobs and leaving our countries in droves?
Do you know what the top corporate tax rate was in the 1990s when Bill Clinton had the largest peacetime expansion of the American economy on record? 35%.
Okay.
Higher than what it was now. Do you know what the effective corporate tax rate? Do you know what the effective corporate tax rate was when Barack Obama had 74 straight months of job growth in America? Do you know when that was?
I know that what it was? I know that when we slashed the corporate tax rates in 2017, that we had record job growth under Donald Trump going up.
Do you know what it was?
COVID. What was it?
It was 35%.
Okay.
So when these mass periods of time.
While the corporate tax rate remained at 35% during President Barack Obama's 2 terms, businesses rarely paid that statutory rate, instead enjoying a number of deductions and loopholes to make effective rate lower. Oh, so they found even though it was still 35% under both Bill and Barack, it was obviously they found like loopholes and and shit that made it so where they didn't really even pay the 35 like that. Crazy how it works. It's almost like it's the corporations we should be looking at and not the regular people. Interesting how that works.
Which we've had so much job growth in this country. Tens of millions of jobs created in this country. We had a 35% corporate tax rate.
And then when we cut it again, there was even more job growth under the first Trump term.
That's literally not what happened. The rate of job growth literally declined right after that. We just continued on a trend.
Wait a minute.
That's literally the tax rate. The rate of job.
Obama in 2012 proposed an economic reform plan that would have lowered the statutory rate by 20%, but closed a number of loopholes. The proposal went nowhere in Congress. Gee. I wonder why.
Growth literally declined right after that. We just continued on a trend, and then it literally smoothed a little bit. That's kind of what happened.
No, we had record job growth under President Trump from 2017 up until the start of COVID.
That's just simply not true. I mean, because what happened?
You're just wrong.
Because you can say that I am all you want. Because the reality is that under Donald Trump, the second the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act was signed, we were on a period of job growth for a very long time, but the rate of increase started to smooth out a little bit. Because here's the reality, is that we saw that job growth in this country can continue with a top corporate tax rate of 35%.
And all
I'm saying here today is that when you go and you cut these big taxes for these big corporations, what happens to the deficit? It goes up. It goes up.
Right, because we need to spend less.
You are borrowing against our children's future. That's why you saw an emergence of trillion-dollar deficits when Donald Trump signed that bill.
Well, I mean, that was mainly because of COVID and having to spend during COVID.
No, it wasn't.
But yeah,
I agree
that we have a spending problem.
Even if you look,
I get that COVID was like a really big thing economic-wise, but we have got to stop throwing COVID under the bus. Because here's the thing, right? COVID happened under Biden. And y'all were pissed at Biden, like throughout his whole time there. Some within reason, some not within reason, right? So like, what, you can't give Biden the same courtesy of COVID? You can only give it to Trump?
You need to spend a lot
even
less.
if you look at the Committee for Responsible Budgets report, which is a nonpartisan committee of non-COVID related debt approved into this country, about $4.5 trillion is approved under Donald Trump compared to about $2.4 trillion.
Okay, so then let me ask you this: then why maybe a full bill? Do you agree with having requirements for Medicaid?
So the facts are is that when you go and you pass a piece of legislation like that, it adds more debt that all of us eventually have to pay, and it leverages our children's future.
Pause. We're out of time.
Thanks so much.
Hey, before we go any further, we want to take a moment to say thanks so much.
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. All right, this is going to be part one because right now I'm only 30 minutes into this shit and it's an hour of this recording. So I'm just going to make this part one. So we'll be back for the claim 2. So I'll see y'all then.